Hello and welcome to another diabetic wittering for a change. I haven't been doing these for a while because, frankly, I don't think there's an awful lot to be said apart from the usual stuff. However, I did mention on a video last week that I was just about to go in for some eye injections, and India 1422 said, "Is this for macular degeneration? My mother has glaucoma, as have I. My father's almost blind from dry macular degeneration." I think she means MD. "Would you mind telling me what the injections are actually like?" Well, yeah, okay. It's not particularly pleasant, but if you don't want to know about this sort of thing, then look away now. Right, so what have I got? Well, I'm diabetic type 2. I have a Bernese mountain dog trying to climb into my lap now. No. I'm quite lucky because I don't have neuropathy, so I still have all feeling in my feet and hands. One of the first things a lot of diabetics get is they lose all feeling and they don't realise when they've done some damage and they have to have legs amputated and so on. Unfortunately, though, I have got macular degeneration. I think it's maculopathy and retinopathy. It's basically I've got edemas, which means I've got leakage behind the retina, and that's pushing the retina away from the wall of the eye, which means that basically if I don't keep having injections, I'll go blind. Not ideal. So I'm sticking with the idea of the injections. What's it like? Well, it's deeply unpleasant having anything come towards your eyes. You'll understand that. Anybody would feel that. Now, the first thing I would say is that it's not nice, it's not pleasant, but when you go in, the nursing staff and the doctors are fabulous. I haven't had a bad experience, and I must have had 12 to 15 courses of injections by now, I guess. It's been going on for some time. Originally it was an injection every 4 weeks. That went up to every 6 weeks, gradually worked up to every 10 weeks. Then it went back to every 8 weeks because the improvements they were hoping for weren't happening. So I'm now on every 8 week, although they've just changed my prescription. So instead of the 2, I think it's 2 mils or 2 micrograms, whatever it is, of the active ingredient, I'm now up to 8, whatever it is. And they're hoping that that will both stop some of the edemas, stop some of the degeneration, and also mean that they can leave me alone for longer periods between injections, which is attractive. So what do the injections involve? Well, the first thing is you'll go in. I tend to find that I'm called in to go and have my eyes tested first, so they'll take a photograph of the back of the eyeball and get me to read off a standard chart. So, you know, X, Y, Z, W, Y, whatever. After that, I'll be taken through to a room, made to lie down on a bed, and they will get a huge amount of anaesthetic first, which they squirt into your eye. Normally about, I think it's 3 pipettes worth of anaesthetic each eye. Then they'll smother it in iodine as well and cover all around the eye to show that they've actually cleaned all of that area. And then when that's done, they will ask you to look down and then look up, and they'll put an eye opening thing behind your eyelids. Now, you shouldn't feel anything there because the anaesthetic should have set in. So when you've got your eye widened open, they'll ask you to look down here, and then you can probably still see the blood actually, and then they'll come along. They will test the eye with a little plastic prod to make sure you can't feel anything. If you can feel anything, they'll wash it with a load more anaesthetic. And then when you can't feel anything at all, they'll say, okay, we're going in now, and you'll just feel a slight pressure. It's just like pressing hard on your hand, I guess, just a slight pressure. And then the strange thing is you'll have an amoeba suddenly burst into your vision. And I say it's an amoeba, it's a different density of liquid they're squirting in, and so you see that different density as this strange silvery amoeba that's there. And then that's done. They'll take the thing off your eye. They'll do the same with the other eye if they're doing both eyes. One thing I should say is, I forgot to mention that when you go in and you lie down, they will say, what are you here for? They'll ask you for your date of birth and all the other stuff so you can confirm you're the right person. And then they'll write 1, 2, in my case, so that it is impossible for them to go wrong about which eye has what done. In my case, it's the same to both eyes, so it doesn't really make a lot of odds. But they like to write on me anyway. So when they've taken the eye opening thing out, when you've had both injections done, you tend to find that they like to stand in one place. So with this eye, you look down there and they'll inject up here. I had assumed that with this eye, you would then look that way and they'd inject up there, but it's not the case. If it's someone who likes standing there, you'll look that way for this eye and the same direction for this eye, which I thought was odd. But that is not pleasant. It's not painful. It's just the fact of having someone coming towards your eye with a needle that is not nice. What isn't very pleasant is the immediate after effects, which is that as the anaesthetic wears off, then it's the iodine starts to take effect and it feels like you've had a bucket of sand thrown in both eyes. Sometimes that takes very little time to set in, sometimes it's a bit longer. But does it impact you? No, it doesn't. Basically, you can crack on with life almost immediately afterwards. Your eyesight will be odd for the next 2, maybe a bit longer hours. I always find it ironic that you get a message almost immediately with a post-operation summary or report, which comes through on my phone as my wife is driving me home. You can't drive afterwards. You've got to forget that. And usually it will have a vast amount of information about what's been done, the nurse's name, the injection of Eylea in both eyes, all that sort of stuff, which is really clever, but it's in such small writing that you can't possibly read it even before the operation. So it's a bit pointless, but never mind. So, other things to look out for. The next day, you may have bruising. This one was bruised this time after Thursday. Don't know why, it just happens sometimes. This one wasn't. 2 operations ago, this eye was... I've got a ridgeback pushing underneath my desk now. Bloody dogs. This eye was really sore for the next 24 hours or so. Don't know why. Could have been a mild infection or something, I suppose. It lasted 24 hours, no longer. I was just thinking maybe I ought to see the doctor, but then it wore off, so I didn't bother. In terms of other things, every now and again you get a black marble at the bottom of your vision. I've had it 3 times, I think. The first time it was really tiny, really tiny. The second time it was huge, absolutely huge in my vision. And from talking to a friend of mine, it's nothing to be alarmed about. What happens is sometimes air gets released into the eyeball. That black marble is, you're seeing the surface tension of an oxygen bubble in your eye. No, got a ridgeback trying to force her way out from under my desk now, which is going to move me even more. So the black marble is just, consider it as an entertainment. It's weird, it's strange, it'll go within a few hours, it doesn't last long. So, what else should I say? You'll get given a load of warnings. So you must not have a shower, wash your hair, let any water near your eyes for about 3 days after the operation. You must not go and do any gardening for at least 5 days, ideally 6. You mustn't go in a swimming pool. There's a number of things that you mustn't do. And basically it's making sure that you don't get any infection in your eye that could well make you go blind. So let's not be silly. You need to be careful and cautious. And that really is about it. I mean, the real negative, as far as I'm concerned, is that it's probably something I'm going to have to do every couple of months for the rest of my life. Which is not something to look forward to, but, you know, it's a hell of a lot better than going blind. I am, as you all know, I'm an author and I'm a painter. Both of those require eyesight. I can't write and edit my books using audio. That isn't going to work. I need to be able to see what's written. I need to be able to read. And likewise with painting, I need to be able to see what the colours are, what the distances are and everything else. And that's about it, really. If you've got any questions, not only on eyes, but also any other aspects of diabetes type 2, please do get in touch. But for now, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully it hasn't put too many people off. I hope you can go back to your morning coffee now, or whatever it might be. And as I say, if you've got any questions, let me know. But in the meantime, if you like this video and you'd like to support the channel, hit the like button to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can buy me a coffee, you can send me money on Super Thanks. You can do whatever you want, really, I don't care. I'm doing these videos much more as a help to people who aren't sure what to expect. And hopefully it will help some people. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care of yourselves. Keep fit and healthy, and I'll speak to you soon.